Come on, Barbie, let's put on that party dress. Learn how to pipe a Barbie dress cake for your next event. Welcome to our page, where we're going to learn, shop, and decorate together at Fran's Cake and Candy Supplies. Hit the subscribe button to follow. What you'll need: 3 6-inch cake layers, buttercream, spatula, cake smoother, piping bags, tips number 18, 101, 104, and 822, doll picker Barbie doll, food coloring, tinker dust with a brush, candy pearls, cake drum, turntable, and a bread knife. Today I'll be using a bag of cake mix, which is the perfect amount to make a 3-layer 6-inch cake. I will also be using a doll pick. We carry a variety of doll picks, but you can also use your own Barbie doll. Just make sure you saran wrap her dress before sticking it into the cake. You'll start by building your 3-layer cake in your preferred method, always adding the last layer upside down. Refrigerate your cake until the buttercream chills. This will give you a sturdier base to cut into. Once you're ready to cut, use your bread knife to cut the edges off of the top layer at an angle. Shave off any sharp edges around your cake. Place your doll pick into the center of the cake to see if you need to shave more off along the top. I'm taking a bit more off of the top edges to curve and round it out. Now it's time to crumb coat my cake. Never skip this step. Crumb coating your cake encases all of those cake crumbs and makes it easier to apply the final layer of buttercream. Gently apply a thin layer in the same color that you plan on decorating your cake with. Use your cake spatula and smoother to smooth out the buttercream, taking any excess icing off. This will be refrigerated for another 15 to 20 minutes until the buttercream hardens. Clean your cake board before decorating your cake. You can use a paper towel or your cake smoother. Insert your doll pick, making sure it's perfectly centered. I'm using the star tip number 18 to create a sweetheart top on my doll. Start by applying the outline to the top part and continue to fill it in. Make sure you apply the same pressure for every star you pipe. I like to count so that they all pipe out the same size. Let go of the pressure before you pull the piping bag away, or you'll have peaks instead of short stars. The bottom part of the dress will be decorated with rosettes with piping tip number 822. Practice your rosettes on a piece of parchment paper if you've never made them before. Start with a small star in the center and bring your piping bag down to the right slightly before looping up counterclockwise and around. Finish with a tail on the right. Start again where you left off. Imagine a clock and pipe to what would be 5 o'clock before giving the star a tight hug. Your rosettes will look flat if you pipe pressing into your cake too hard, but if you keep your piping tip a hairline off of your cake, then you end up with plumpy rosettes. See the difference? Another thing to avoid are the rosette tails. This happens when you stop your rosette too soon. Always finish each rosette with a tail that can be hidden by the next rosette. This row of rosettes looks messy. It makes a big difference. This row looks a lot neater with the hidden tails. Start on the back of your Barbie doll, carefully piping each rosette one at a time. Make sure to stop and get a good grip on your piping bag for full pressure control. I usually need to do this after every 4 to 5 rosettes. Start the next row in between the first row of rosettes so that you can hide the gaps. This will be harder to do the closer you get to the top since it's a smaller space. It's okay if it doesn't line up with the last few rows. Just try to keep each row straight and neat. The last row will be applied right up against the sweetheart top. Next, I'm using tip number 104 to create a bright pink draping around the ball gown. Make sure that the wider opening of the tip is at the top, while the thinner opening is at the bottom. You can use a ruler to mark and create even drapes around the dress. I'm going to be using a smaller version of tip 104. Tip number 101 to create little ribbon bows along the draping. For these bows, turn the piping tip with the thinner opening facing up and the wider opening facing down. Start with the left loop by piping slightly up at an angle and right back down to the start. You'll repeat the same process on the right, creating a bow. Next, you'll add a ribbon to the right and a ribbon to the left, ending in the center. Add a candy pearl to create a beautiful ribbon bow. Add these along the top parts of the draping around your cake. I'll be adding the finishing touches on my Barbie dress with pink tinker dust. This will add the perfect amount of sparkle to my cake. Gently dip your brush into the tinker dust and tap your brush with your finger. You can also apply the brush directly to the buttercream. Just make sure your cake has been refrigerated and the buttercream has hardened before touching it with the brush. This Barbie cake is so beautiful and simple to make. Be sure to subscribe to our page for more fun and simple tutorials that you can make right at home.